Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to Wakefulness Theology. My name is Messenger Paula. I'm going to try to go a little quicker today than usual. Today we're talking about 1111 Melchizedek Priesthood's weapon, the Ephod's gem, and Netflix's Trollhunter. And today it's about group confirmation. So believe it or not, I did not plan on talking about group confirmations today, but this is the Lord's message. This is the Most High Father and Yeshua Hamashiach's message that he wants me to give you guys today. So, hey, let's just roll with the punches, keep it going. This is part 3 of the series. I've explained to you guys that I had no idea how many parts there would be because this message is so big. But today we're going to talk about the archetypes, finish talking about the archetypes, start talking about the symbols, and talk about the dream confirmations. Because as I've been doing this video, I mean, just everybody and their mama is coming out with confirmations. People are having their own dreams, and everyone's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had the same dream. I had the same. So we're going to talk about some of those confirmations. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about the key of David, huge, which has to go with this stone, the agate stone I was telling you guys about last week. I wanted to talk about it this week, but Yeshua Hamashiach has another thing for me to talk about this week, so I'll talk about it next week. We're going to talk about the triumbic stones that are in in the Trollhunters as well. That's huge, and more symbols. Then finally, like 2 weeks from now, we'll finally get to the prophetic story of Trollhunters and break that down after you guys know all the symbols and all of the archetypes. So we just talked about in the last videos all of these archetypes here, and we really focused on the top 3, and the point being that we are the 12. Yeshua Hamashiach will collect us for his Ephod, as we are the 12 gems represented by the 12 tribes. But we as ourself have to also collect 4 stones, and those 4 stones are representing the 4 groups of people, okay? That's what we talked about in the last time. So this episode, we're going to talk about Jim's mom and Angarat. Eventually, we're going to get there at the end. And I just wanted to point out this verse here, Matthew 18:20, for where there are 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So I got that because I was watching Sister Diana Oliveri, I'm mispronouncing her name, and she was talking about that, and she just kept saying in the midst of them, like she knew it was a message, but she couldn't put her finger on it. And I got it because I was getting the same message. And so this is what I'm understanding. We have pretty much primarily 3 groups, okay? But when 2 or 3 of us are together, there Yeshua Hamashiach will be, and that's why you have the 4. But when you're talking about my cigarette situation, remember I found 3 packs and I thought it was finished. But actually the 4th one is where I won, where I had victory, where I didn't need to smoke anymore. And the 4th pack is when I actually gave it away. So it's the same kind of thing with these groups. You have the 3 groups, but it's the 4th group that's the victory. And the number 4, Yeshua Hamashiach, is represented by 4-4. We're going to talk about that in just 1 minute. Let's keep going. So this is what we talked about in the last video. Arg, Blinky, and Bular, we were saying they represent the leaves, our spirit guides, and the gatekeepers. Please, if you did not see the video before, go back. I explain all of that. Walter, Strickler, Drawl, and Non-Enrique. So Walter represents the demons inside people, which is important because we fight the powers of darkness, and that is what makes us sharper for the harvest. Drawl, representing a group of people that are going to, a group of brothers and sisters that are going to go first, and they're represented by the Agat and the Levi. And then the not Enrique, which are the false, everything that is false, specifically the Prince of Persia, who is the false ruler of God's people. Okay, so with all of that said, let's finish up with the synopsis of the TV show here, where you see in red. So shortly afterwards, Claire proposes a quest into the Darklands to rescue her baby Enrique, her baby brother Enrique. And it seems like that is representing the baby, the son that is born from Revelation 12, but because it's a cartoon, they couldn't make it her son because she was too young, who has been replaced with the changeling who they dubbed not Enrique. So we were just saying that's the Prince of Persia that is here, but we're waiting for his mask to fall. So Blinky informs them that the only way out of the Darklands is to kill Gunmar, and Gunmar, we said, was Satan. So that line is talking about the world after tribulation, which is Armageddon, pretty much. The only way to destroy him is with the 3 triumbic stones, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. And I said that you need 4. In the cartoon, he collected 3, but the 4th one was the Eye of Angorot. Okay, so that really gets deep. We're going to talk about that in the next series, the next video. After finding the first 2, their enemy Strickler frees ancient troll assassin Angorot from his bonds. We said that Angorot represents the tribulation in the beast system. Maybe even the Prince of Persia, I don't know. Right now. Using Anger's ring, which is the mark of the beast, he forces him under his control. After Jim indirectly causes his ring to break, Anger goes on a rampage, attempting to kill Strickler and Jim in the process. Strickler and Jim's mother are injured. So Trollmarker leader Vendel informs Jim that the only way to cure is to break the binding spell that ties his mother and Strickler's fates together. However, his mother's memories of the troll world are erased. There you go. So Strickler hands Jim the last triumbic stone, and that's why I was saying that Strickler, who represents the demon in people, they make us sharper, like scythes that are going to be used for the harvest, because at the end he gives him the last stone. So then at the end they're talking about Angorot begins to invade Troll Market after stealing the key from Toby and Claire. So we're going to talk about this key. It's super important. That's the key of David. And they defeat them, and that's why I said again, Toby and Claire are the 144 and the witnesses working together, right? They defeat him. During his rampage, however, Arg is killed. We talked about that already. Much to the grief of the group, especially Toby, thinking that he was responsible for the death and endearment of his friends, Jim sets off to the Darklands alone, not wanting to lose any more of them. So this is important too, because it's the end of season 1, so we don't know what's going to happen in season 2, but I feel that his friends will join him. Okay, it's pretty sure. But the very end of the cartoon is Jim representing Jesus and or the 144,000 coming back from the wilderness to Armageddon to kill Satan, pretty much. And Jim is talking about, he was chosen. That's, again, the chosen ones. Every TV show has the chosen ones. Puss in Boots. I mean, every friggin' TV show has the one, So, there you go. And he was like, I'm not going to let you take any more of my friends, which I love, because that's exactly how Yeshua is. He's like, he will go back. He will leave the 99 sheep to go after the one that got away, the one that straggled. And that's exactly what's happening in this cartoon, and that's what's exactly it says in the Bible, and that's exactly what's happening in real life. He is not going to leave one of his children here. He's not going to leave not one of us behind. He will come back for one of us. Okay, so do not be discouraged. No matter what is going to be happening in the future, this is all a dance. Everybody has their parts, and it's all going to be fitting together. And he has the victory because he died on Calvary. So there is nothing to worry about. Do not be troubled, even when we're wading in the water. Amen. Here what you see on the screen is Rhonda Empson. She's a sister. I've talked to her through email and text and all of that, and I've talked about her before in my other videos. So if you notice, this video right here, it has my number 723, so I cannot not pay attention to it, and I noticed that it was 723 after, so that was confirmation actually. So the video is called The Soon Departure of the Church Dream, right here. Feel free to go and look at it, it's not long. And in her dream, she talks about 4 groups. Well, I guess technically, what? 3 or 4. You'll see for yourself. Let's listen to her and take it away, sister.
All right, so in this dream, it was very short, very simple, you guys. I was in a white van there was a lot of other people around, and what we were doing is saying goodbye. I was hugging people, just like you do when you're getting ready to leave to go somewhere. You're not going to see them. Okay, so we were hugging, I was giving everybody hugs, and the mood was, everybody was happy, cheerful. And then I noticed that I stood like outside of a school. So I walked in to this school, and I saw Ariel and Chris. Now, you guys know that the Lord has used Ariel in a lot of my dreams. The name simply is, it means Jerusalem, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm really tired today. But the name Ariel means Jerusalem. And the other person was Pastor Chris. And we know that a pastor will represent the Lord. Plus his name is Chris, which means Christ followers. I knew that it wasn't these two literally, because they are both Christians. They both believe. And so I knew that it was their names that were being symbolic. So when we were saying goodbyes, I asked if they were coming. And she said, no, we have to stay. I have to make 6,000 copies, because when I looked over in the auditorium was filled with people. The neat thing about it is everybody wore the same clothes, so I knew that this represented a special group of people, and you guys are probably picking up on that, and that is Israel. All right, so we know that Ariel represents Israel. We know that the pastor represents Christ. We were saying goodbye. I asked if they were coming. They said, no, we need to stay.
Okay, so as you see, she was talking about, here, I wrote it down for you. The pastor in her dream so her dream is pretty much the same as what we've been talking about in this long-running series, right? The pastor in her dream represents the 1111, or James. Right here, the wife of the pastor, I forget the name of the wife of the pastor.
But the name Ariel means Jerusalem.
But it means Jerusalem. Well, anyway, his wife in her dream represents Israel, and she would be the 144, which is Lexi, and the actress name is Lexi, and it's the love and interest of James in the cartoon. So here, just quickly, we talked a lot already about Jim's mother, but we didn't break it down. So the actress name is Amy Landecker. The character's name is Barbara Lake, and it's his mother. And I was saying that I believe she represents, because her name, Amy, the actress, it means beloved Hebrews or Jews. So the 6,000 are, in fact, Hebrews, who at the moment are not visible, but they will be soon. So she is the Ariel, the 6,000. And this is the demon that she's being deceived. That's why this cartoon, this process of understanding what's going to happen is so precious, and I love it so much, because look how much more we understand now. We can visually see the 6,000, the copies, the ones that are pulled from the river. At this particular moment, they are being deceived, believing this illusion. They don't know, she doesn't know that he's a demon. She doesn't know about Trollville. She doesn't know about this whole secret life thing, right? But she is a Hebrew. She is a child of God, and he's going to come get her. You see what I mean? And she does go to Troll Market. But we know she's healed. At least we can say that she's healed. So here we go. Ike Amani as Angerat. He's the mysterious ancient troll assassin with an unknown past who hunts down the Trollhunters. So by the way, we're Trollhunters as far as this cartoon is concerned. So in ancient times, anger made a deal with the witch Baba Yaga. I did not look up that name. Please, someone translate that name into Latin or see what it says. So surrendering his own soul in return for his mystic powers, or maybe if it's not Latin, maybe it's something else, but that means something. So I just wanted to show Angerat, that's his name, so I put it here from Latin, and it means hot trials. So that is the tribulation. It's right there. Wade in the water, trouble in the water, the trials, right? And so I put Barbara Lake because when we see the TV show, it really becomes obvious. You don't even need me to explain it. It's the part where Barbara is connected to the demon Strickler, and they want to separate her, but they're trying to get her to Trollville to save her life because he got injured the demon, so that means she would die too. Which is so real. That is just what will happen. It's the Father is fighting the powers of darkness, but if you're connected to those powers of darkness, you're going to go down with them. So that's exactly what happened in the cartoon. And so they're trying to get to Trollville, which is under the bridge, and Toby is trying to open the door, and this guy right here is in their way, right? So exactly that. So here we have his ring. So we're finally done with the characters. Now we're talking about the symbols. He has his ring, and I'm saying that it is the Oculus technology because the name of the ring is Copulum Inferno, and when you translate it from Latin, it means leash inferno. So pretty much inferno is hell. So we're talking about a hell leash. So and again, it's a feminine voice. This is, of course, representing the Queen of Heaven. She goes, "You fool," because he sold his soul for this ring. So it is the hell leash. I don't know how to explain that. It is a way for them to control us, right? And imprison our souls to hell. I don't know how much clearer that needs to be. It's pretty clear to me. This is the symbol on the ring. I don't know, but it made me think again of the dark mirror, the black mirror, and this is the Oculus technology stuff from that TV show, and it reminded me immediately of these symbols. So somebody else might see it and be able to break it down, but I know these are connected somehow. If you turn one of these symbols in a certain way or whatever, it's connected. Very similar. So here we got, I can remember the actress's name, which is Lexi, and I can't remember her name. But anyway, this girl here, which is the love interest of Jim, she gets this shadow stick, I believe it's called, and she gets it from fighting Anger Rod. And I wanted to show you that it is the same symbol as what he has here in the Black Mirror, and we talked about that in the other series. And this actually, what I want to say is that this represents the rod of iron. Okay? You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall shatter them like earthenware. And I'm going to prove this as we go through. And you can read all of these, even here. So I just want to say, she has the staff that represents the rod of iron that will shatter them like earthenware. He had it here because in this TV show, it was a character that was symbolizing Jesus who hit him with the iron rod. So it was foreshadowing the fact that he would not be 4-4 but 404, but he was called, he just ran away from his calling. Here I just want to show you again with the symbolism of this rod of iron, which is called the shadow staff in the cartoon. You can't see it really well here. I just didn't want to lose time to try to find a better picture. You feel free to go look at Puss in Boots yourself. You'll see. I don't know the name of it, but it's the same. It's the same staff, you know, with the same. It's the same thing again. And I told you Puss in Boots is prophetic as well. And I'm not gonna go through Puss in Boots like I did Trollhunters, but now that you already know the symbolisms, at the end of the series I can go really quickly and just point out some stuff and you'll see it for yourself. It's the same construction. You have 3 here. So here we're just going back to Toby really quickly because I really wanted to point out the fact that that's the same thing that I was saying with Lexi, is that represents the iron rod that is to shatter, so it's to shatter them like earthenware or like pots of clay. And so it is his war club, weapon of war, and with you I shall shatter nation and destroy kingdoms. So that is, from his mouth comes a sharp sword, so that it may strike down the nations, and he will rule them with a rod of iron. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that I know that all of that represents Jesus, Yeshua Hamashiach. I'm quite aware of that. What I'm pointing out is that we might be overlooking the fact that when we here on earth become really the body of Christ, and we are copies of Yeshua Hamashiach here on earth in 25 or 26, we are the Calebs. We will have to go up to the lands and take over the lands. We have to fight that AI beast. Just like in the old days is what we're going to have to do. And he is going to give us these weapons so that we can, with you, I shatter nations and I destroy kingdoms. Now, again, we're talking about spiritual battle, spiritual war against the powers of darkness, not people, but spirits. So that, I think that's the only point I'm making. It represents Jesus, but we cannot neglect to understand that we as well have that responsibility. We are many baby Jesuses here, not yet, but we will be. And when the time when we earn our stones, we earn our weapons, we have to go out and use them and go up to the land and take it over. So those verses are not only talking about Yeshua, it's talking about us as well. So another thing to prove what I'm saying here is the name of the TV show, the episode, is The Shattered King. Look at that. And I will shatter the nations and destroy kingdoms, a hammer that will shatter you like a rock. And we're talking about it being the word. And the double-edged sword. He's the swordsman. You guys, are you following me? The shattered king. What did I just tell you a few minutes ago? The Prince of Persia is here now. He is the unfavorable ruler of God's people. He is the false prince. And he will become king, the king of Persia, in 2020. And we are to shatter nation. Read it again, please. Read it again. Do you see what I'm saying? Which I have question mark witness here. So we talked about him in the last stream. I just want to say really quickly, another reason why I think he represents the witnesses is because, well, there's 2 witnesses in the Bible, but we understand that it's not necessarily literally 2 people, it's people, right? In the sister's dream from South Africa, remember, she picked up the 4 children, or there was a brother in her dream, picked up 4 children, and 2 of those children she took, and one was a naughty child that we assume became good, and the other child was in a bag. And so I was saying the one in the bag was fine, but another sister here with her comment, she reminded me that the witnesses will be wearing sackcloth. And in the sister's dream, the child that was okay was wearing a sack, right? And we went through, we decoded everything, and we were saying that Toby is representing that sack, that child in the sack, because he was okay, he was free, he was, he was fine. And in her dream, again, she was talking about, in my opinion, what I understand, this 6,000 people are the new orange. They're the people that are going to come onto the grass. As far as the South African sister's dream is concerned, they went and got the people out of the river and brought them on the grass. So those are the 6,000 people. And my dream as well, because I've thought about it since then, and I'm in the submarine. The submarine is seeking, and I'm pulling out these people. So it's the same as the sister pulling the people out of the lake, the sister's dream from South Africa. It's the same situation. And like I said, I could just put up all the different people who have sent me dreams saying the same thing. It just would take too long. So here I have Ahmad. So in the sister's dream, Sister Rhonda, she said that there were 6,000 people, right? So I looked up 6,000 in Strong's Thesaurus, Strong's Concordance on the internet, and it means trouble, people, trouble, loved ones, children of the Most High. What did we just say in the last dream? In the last video, he said that
the song, it was a song that popped in my head, and it was the song "Wade in the Water."
They were singing "Trouble the Water" when they were going down the river, remember? And that's what 6,000 mean in Sister Rhonda's dream when she said there were 6,000. It's because God's going to trouble the water. So that's just confirmation of what I said. Those 6,000 people are the people that are in the river, who will be coming out of the river. That's why they have to go through judgment. Some of them are nice, some of them are naughty. We don't know, but some group of us go home, and the ones who don't go home, they join us on the grass. And so that's why I was saying in the last dream, orange is the new black. And I was saying about Caleb. We did that whole video series about Caleb. And how we have to go up to the land and take it over, and then back it says black. So here 6,000 equals trouble. So it is God's going to trouble the water. Please, please, please. Okay, we are represented as water. That's why in Revelation 14 it says the voices of many waters, because like I showed you in the last video, the rivers going through Eden, which is I guess probably like New Jerusalem, they go through. So we are 4 waters, 4 levels of the Ephod. We are 4 gems. We are 4 fruit. It's all the same symbolism. So here when it says God's going to trouble the water, God is going to trouble us, the children, in judgment, okay? And so out of that judgment that's going to come, and we said probably 2019, but we're going to talk about that more later. There's going to be a group that goes home to heaven, so that's all good. But the other people, they come out and they join us because they are the new Calebs with us, okay? And that is the 6,000. And then down here, we talked about in the last one about Lake, and Lake is going to come looking for me, like Jim Lake in the cartoon and all of that stuff. It's just amazing. Look how this stuff is coming together. So we're going to talk more about that 6,000 later. Just hold on to that idea. So here, let's listen really quickly because I wanted to talk more about this upheaval that's supposed to come. And if you haven't seen this yet, this sister Diana Olivieri talks about it really well. And so let's listen to her.
And so on June the 3rd, 2016, I received this message. And so this is what he said. He said, "Daughter, welcome us. Welcome us, my love, for we are there. My child, make no hesitancy regarding our status with you. We are there, my child, in full glory, in full force. Hold fast to the truths that I have told you, for there is truth in my words this day to you, my love. Things are occurring, happening in the spirit proficiently, which will cause great disturbances in the physical. Watch and see, my love, what I say to you this day, for it shall come to pass exactly as I say. Great disturbances within the land masses of America. Among the water's ridge, there are movements beneath the surface that none are aware of. Great disturbances, I say. You shall see this, my love. Hold fast to the truths. Hold fast to the truths I have told you. Great movements of landmass within the Americas. Who can do this but I, my child? Who can hold back the winds and demand a mountain to fall? Only I, my love, and my hand is upon this. Okay, so when we know if he's allowing, we know he's in control of everything, right? And so we know if he's allowing it, then he is allowing it to happen. Okay? And if we know he's allowing it to happen, then we know this is part of the judgments.
Okay, so you see what I mean? She's saying pretty much the same thing. I know that in my spirit, in my heart. So maybe the one with the water ridge has to do with what our dreams have been saying, but I just wanted to bring that up because here I have the same thing in my letter line for 2017 right here: a disturbance, upheaval, commotion, disorder, revolution, almost anarchy, first in the political and then in the moral sphere. And I didn't know if this was like with the Trump election, or is there more still to come? I don't know, but since she was bringing it up, I just wanted to be clear. You can pause this and read this for yourself. I just wanted to be clear that the letter lines do say that there's commotion or upheaval this year as well. Hey guys, it's day 2 of recording, just so you know. I just want to make a quick point that what she's talking about here, Diana, I'm not sure if it's the same water upheaval that the rest of us are dreaming about, or if it's a different one. The reason I say that is because here, you can look at this video when you have time. The Lord has also given me a message in the past about a volcano, and we know that volcanoes are going to happen. You know, a lot of things are going to happen for the tribulation. So I don't know if she's talking about an underwater volcano or if it's the same message as we got. So they could be 2 separate instances, or it could be the same. But I think the major point is that we've entered into the time of disturbance and upheaval, and it's just going to increase between now, and it's really going to hit a high note in 2019, 2020. Something happens where we have the Prince of Persia, who we're still waiting to be revealed, becomes the King of Persia, with the red rises, and a calamity happens. A group of us go home. Sure, so is that a scripture that says the church will be judged first? Then that's what's happening. The church is going to be judged first. But we don't have to worry. We don't have to be troubled. Okay? So, there you go. Here, I just wanted to finish with the sister's dream. This is a sister from South Africa. So, in the last video, we broke all of this stuff down. And I just wanted to tell you, sister, if you're watching these videos, that quickly, this house that you're going in is the protection. It's just like the dreams where we go to Trollville with the submarine, and Brother Rob, when he was on the boat and he went to this place, it's your protection of escaping the wrath, right? It's the wilderness. So here, do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God. Don't let your hearts be troubled. There it is, the trouble. God's going to trouble the water. But us that are on the grass, do not let your hearts be troubled. Do you hear the message? You believe in God, believe in me as well. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and welcome you into my presence, so that you also may be where I am. So this right here is you being in safety, okay? Don't be afraid. Do not be troubled. You are going to be fine, sister. And there's something, it seems like something you might be forgetting, because the elephant represents forgetfulness. So, really meditate on this and pray on it. But this whole backdoor thing right here, and I also wanted to show you elephant, that Jesus is the elephant. So what I'm saying is, the elephant in your dream, you guys pause this and read this. The elephant in your dream is Jesus coming back. And that's why if you just Google elephant Jesus, you're gonna see pages and pages about Jesus and elephants. So that's just what that is. As far as the back door in your dream, it's Jesus. Another proof that it's Jesus. But do not forget one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years. 1,000. We're going to talk about that next. And 1,000 years are like a day. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and the heavens will disappear with a roar, and the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything in it will be laid bare. And so that's what's happening in your dream, is everything is getting destroyed. So he comes by the back door, and this is just proof. John 10:1, verily, verily, I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs by another way, is a thief. So he is a thief if you come another way, and he said he's going to come like a thief. That's why he comes to the back door in your dream, and he appears as an elephant. And so I mean, hopefully, I don't have a lot of time to go through that right now, but hopefully I've given you enough information that now you can understand your dream better. It's pretty much like the other dreams we've talked about, you going to safety and being in safety for the day of wrath and not having to go through that, okay? He's going to come and get you. But there's something, you need to pray or meditate about. There's something where you're forgetting or doubting or something. I don't know. There's something about it, but you'll figure it out. Here, the 1,000. Okay, so we got 1,000 a few times. We got 1,000 with she said 6,000 people. We got 1,000 in the verse that we just saw about one day, 1,000 years is one day to the Father. So in the last video I was doing, and I had just understood the message that the Father was telling me that a group of us will be going home, okay? The same day I was figuring this message out, I found this right here. And this is a Heaven's banknote. I saw it. It was on the ground. It was crumpled up like this. And I thought it might be real money. But I passed it by a couple of times. I was like, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up. But I was just too curious. So I finally picked it up, unfolded it, and I saw this. I still didn't know if it was real money or not, but I didn't pay attention. I did know it was 1,000, and I knew it was a Heaven banknote. So I knew it was important. I kept it for a while. And then I understood the message that a group of us were going to be going home soon, between now and 2019 anyway, 2020, because Hebrew year stops in April 2020. So we could say between now and April 2020. But that's all. I knew it was something. I just, whatever. And then this sister here, Kathleen Lynn, if you're looking, your obedience and your courage is just is so beautiful thing to witness and a beautiful thing to see. Thank you so much. Guys, pause this and read this. Kathleen, what I want to tell you is that there's a playlist that I have. It's called Jesus is symbolized by 44, the cross is 4, and these videos right here, you can go back and look at them. So I've already understood what you were explaining here. I've already known that. I did those videos about that a while back. But what you did get me to understand was the significance of 1,000, which I was not paying attention to enough. And here you went on to explain specifically that 1,000 means the new covenant, which I was not paying attention to enough. And thank you very much, sister. The Holy Father has indeed used you. So 1,000 here is representing, in my opinion, the symbol I'm understanding, the message that God is giving us is that this is confirmation, because this right here, you look up what heaven, a banknote means, it's money for the dead. So when people die, you burn this money for them to have money in heaven, which I didn't know anything about before. So this is the people who are going to pass, the first group of people who are going to pass. They are saints. They're saints. they're going to go home to heaven. They are covered in the new covenant. That's what I understand here. So guys, take a minute and read this part, and I'll be right back with you. Let's enjoy a few minutes. One of my favorite singer, Joshua Aaron, is going to read this for us, okay? And then I'll be back.
Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31 to 34. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, says the Lord. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor, and every man his brother say, Know the Lord, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin I will remember no more. Of the earth.
Okay, so when we're talking about the 1,000 representing the new covenant, and that is where we get the 1,000 and the 144,000, and we've talked about what the 144 means. So we're going to start talking about the 144 in the next video, more specifically with the key of David and all of that. I'm going to go to my website, Wakefulness Theology, because I have the timeline here. And it's really funny because I wrote the timeline and I did the videos on the timeline, but I haven't really been using the timeline, you know. So here you see 2019, and it says, I know it's hard to read, I'm sorry. Until I have some kind of person to help me do the website better, this is the best I can do at the moment. But it says, you wander and wash away negativity and get renewal in life. It is the separation of the fleshly beings and those people who will go where the spirit of life dwells. Now, I wrote that before I started doing this this playlist about you know, what we're doing right now with the Netflix thing. So it's saying the same thing. It's the separation of the different groups. You know, there's a group of us that are going to go home. It says it right here, and this is from line 943. So we just go here, and we just go down to the bottom, and we type 943, and we get the letter line. I don't know why there's no picture. I gotta fix that. And you have it right here. So bath or measure for liquids. Oh my goodness. I'm reading this the same time as you for the first time since we've had this more clarity. Look, liquids, water, measure, wade in the water. Wow. Perplexed, confusion, wander aimlessly, discrimination, anxiety, eternal, everlasting, Adama, a place near the Dead Sea. There we got the sea again, earthly land, borrowing. So as you are perplexed, confused, and wandering aimlessly, as you get cleansed of your life from negative feelings, you are washing away the difficult times, old ideas, notions, opinions, or negativity. It may be pointing towards forgiveness, letting go, renewal in your life, a fresh start, of feeling good, moving on from your troubles. Here we go again with the troubles. This wandering is the division or separation of fleshly beings and those people who will go where the spirit of life dwells. So that is really pointing out what we've been talking about, the water tragedy type of thing. You have anxiety about making the mysteries hidden for ages and generations, but now revealed to his saints known. You embody the eternal Adamah in Judah, where you are receiving knowledge, revelation, physical goods, things, and manifestation of Jesus' generosity. So this part right here sounds like the second part where the people in the river, they come up on the grass. So this is for 2019. As I said, it's very hard to write a line that hasn't happened yet, except in the situation now we have more information, so I might be able to, well, I think it's not far off. The 444 represents the Calvary. 4 is the cross, and you can go back and see my other playlist. I explain it's the cross. There's so many reasons why, but you have 4 points on the cross. We're 4, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 arms and a leg. 44 represents Yeshua, and again, you can go back. I'm not going to take the time to prove that now, but it's already been proven. And so if the cross represents 4, then 3 4s represents the 3 crosses of Calvary. Are you guys with me? So in this case, 444 equals man as well, right? So what I'm trying to do now is, because we have a lot of information. We have the Trollhunters, and they have the archetypes in the cartoon. We have all these people who have been having dreams, and all of our dreams agree with each other and agree with the cartoon, okay? And then we have the Bible, where you have these archetypes in the Bible. So sometimes I tried to put the dreams in the cartoon with the Bible, but sometimes it's very difficult because we're trying to understand the Bible, right? But God has given me a gift, an ability, the Wakefulness Theology and the letter lines, and so I feel that we could possibly use that as well to try to bring some clarity to the situation. So here, this is Acts 4:4, 444, that is Jesus, 444. That's another reason I got the 4. Okay. But many who heard the message believed. So the number of men who believed grew to be about 5,000. Okay. 5,000 men who believed, plus the new covenant, which equals 1,000. And you got 6,000. That's where you get the 6,000, possibly. Okay, so here I did the letter line 4:4, and here you go right here, a man, human being. I've already explained how to read these letter lines, so read it for yourself. You are a part of people, human beings, for whom it is, I hope that is correct grammar, for whom it is forbidden, especially by the Father's law, for you to turn morally corrupt or become filthy. Of course, we just read that in the last verse. For they shall know me from least to the greatest, for I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sin no more. So, in that case, it is quite impossible for you to become morally corrupt and filthy. Once the Father has written his name in your heart and in your mind, trust me, you never go back. You are a part of the entire generation from first to last in the foreknowledge of the unconceived. Now, say that 4 times fast. You are an unmovable Israelite brother, kinsman, relative, countryman, with the secret and wisdom and hidden wisdom of God imparted unto the kingless generation and the immortal human. Now what is visible is showing in the visible, invisible is showing in the visible, or at least the process will start at that point. And then 6, because you have to think, if we know that 1,000 is the covenant, right? Then what is 6? Because that's 1,000 times 6. 6,000. Abel, second son of Adam and Eve, brother of Cain. Make perish, lose oneself, unclothing. Again, I'll let you read it. This I found really funny because we talked about, especially because of Jonathan Kleck, the twins. How everything is the right side up, upside down paradigm. So it started with Cain and Abel, right? Because Cain was as far as his DNA was not corrupt, and sorry, Abel's DNA was not corrupt. It is a true child of the Most High Father with his Holy Spirit, and Abel. And then Cain, we believe, understand that he has a different DNA. So that would be the others. So we are children. We are the actual uncorrupted DNA situation, not the fallen angels stuff. Okay, so I thought this was funny because, of course, you can go 404, or you can take off the O and have 44. So we know the 44 is Jesus. But even if you leave it as 44, I talked about 44 in the dark mirror, the black mirror. And in that TV show, it was representing someone taking the mark and being disconnected from God and losing their soul, having their soul being killed. They're eaten by Satan. In this situation, 404, like I've tried to explain before, the letters, just because they symbolize something doesn't mean that there's only one meaning. It can, red, for example, can symbolize many things. It can symbolize love, and it can symbolize death, and those are complete different things. It's the same here with letters. So in that case, 404 did represent being disconnected from God, but it doesn't always have to represent being disconnected from God. And in this particular situation, the literal meaning of it is undertaking, from Roger, the spiritual meaning. And so you are as Abel, the second son of Adam. This means you have the Father of the All's holy breath or spirit in you. But you are losing yourself. You now commit yourself to revival and refreshment. Revival and refreshment. Where did I hear that? I heard revival somewhere else already just a few minutes ago. So it's just confirming again. You have the covenant. So these people have been losing themselves a bit. But now, after the situation, they're coming back. They will have revival and refreshment. I think that's exactly what I read. Right here, right, a fresh start, renewing your life. Look, it's right here. Pause it and read it. It's saying the same thing. The 6,000 are, and I hope I'm not offending anyone, but the copies that Sister Rhonda was talking about in her dream. So what I'm understanding is, I know Sister Diana talked about it before, and I had it in a letter line. I've talked about it before, and I was saying that in 2025, 2026, like, we're going to be a bunch of Jesuses. Like, when the body of Christ, when the church comes together and we get our act together, we're going to be thousands of Jesuses. Do you understand? He is going to come. That's why we're called the body of Christ. He is going to come and occupy our bodies here on earth, right? So they are represented by the character that was in the Black Mirror, because the guy in the TV show, I think his name was Chris, we were saying that he was called and he was running away from his calling. So that was part of the problem, his problem. But in the TV show, he didn't ever get it together. In this situation, they're going to get it together, because they'll have the judgment when the water is troubled, and so they will change. They will be changed forever. So that's what I wrote here as well. 404 in the Black Mirror becomes 44. So the 404. You either can be disconnected with the mark of the beast, or you become 4/4, which we know is Yeshua Hamashiach. This is so, look how this stuff, it just works out. Do you think I can make this up? Do you think I can invent this? That's why I love going through the details. I know it might be annoying for some people, but once I go through the details, you can see I'm not just it's not mental. This stuff is coming from somewhere. Look at that. So it's also represented, the 6,000 is represented by Jim's mom, I think. And we were talking about how orange is the new black, because I just wanted to clarify about my dream that I had about This Isn't Prince. And I played that in the last video, if you guys remember. The first part of the dream, where we were doing some kind of dance, like a musical theater piece, but no one knew the musical theater piece. We just all had our separate pieces of paper, and we were doing this musical with that. That represents what we are doing right now, specifically what I'm doing in this video. Sister Diana has her dance that she's following her page. Brother Rob, he has one page and he's following his script of the thing. Sister such and such and brother such and such, everybody is following their own script. I have my own script that I'm trying to follow, and it's very difficult because the only thing you know is the clues and the symbols and the signs and the dreams and whatever in your heart, you know. So you're following this script that only you can see, and you're just going day by day. But what's happening is above, if you were to look at the situation from above, everything is being orchestrated. So earlier, when the sister sent me the text message about 1,000, she didn't know that. She just knew that the Lord was telling her to tell somebody about it. So she just went on YouTube and started commenting on all these different videos, waiting for someone to bite. And I bit because it was for me. And so she found me and she gave me the message. This is the orchestration we're talking about. The sister from South Africa who sent me this dream, just being obedient to the Holy Spirit. She had no idea that that was a very important piece for me to understand this puzzle. Do you see what I mean? So we all have our own scripts. We're all following it, but it's all like this kind of dance that we don't see. But it's coming together. And in 2025, 2026, it will come together, and we're going to have this big, beautiful production piece of everyone dancing in their places. Just like, yes, there was a sister who said it's like the 144 singing the song that no one can sing in Revelations 14. But I think it's more than that, in the sense that it's not for the rapture, it's for now, right? So we're doing this dance now that only we can understand, right? And it's a wonderful, beautiful thing that's coming together. So in the dream, I showed up late. There were already people, not late, but when I showed up, this was already going on, which is obvious, you know. All these other people on YouTube, you guys have been doing this for I don't know how long. I'm just starting, my ministry just started in November 13th, 2016. So that makes sense. And then at the end of the dream with That's Not Prince, I had a confirmation right here. I think it was literally the day after. I posted the video, and then the next day was my sister's birthday. And for her birthday, she got this. It's a big book of Prince, Life and the Times. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, come on, because that's not an everyday situation. You don't dream about Prince like that and then have the book the next day. That was a confirmation. So I just wanted to clarify, because of that confirmation, that Prince in that dream represents right here, Prince of Persia. This is letter line 133, and I got it for 2017. And I explained in another video about the Father gave me the warning already with the number 116. I was seeing it everywhere. Then I had the phenomenon on my iPad where it was a glitch in the program and it said Romans 116, but Romans 116 doesn't exist. It's actually Psalms 116. And then in the Psalms 116, it's talking about at Thanksgiving and the death of his saints. Now, and I said I didn't know if it meant the actual Thanksgiving or not, but there's another sister here on here, Nine is Nania, and she and other people as well. I have a whole playlist about that. And a lot of people have been getting signs about the gift giving season. So that could represent all the way from Thanksgiving all the way to slightly after Christmas, talking about New Year. So we're talking about the holiday season here. And the premonition that I would receive, the premonition in 2017 about the Prince of Persia. And what I'm telling you about right now about the visibility of Jesus coming on the clouds, and that we will escape and go to Trollville or the wilderness, but that we also have to participate in Armageddon. The 144 comes back with Yeshua as his Ephod, right? So, or Ephod. So this letter line right here, I know it's not written well, but as you guys you're taking this journey with me now. So you're learning the spiritual language. And once you learn the spiritual language, nothing will be hidden from you. You will be able to read every single thing, because what I'm pointing out to you repeats over and over and over and over in every dream and every TV show and everything. It's the same symbols. The Spirit speaks with the same words, right? So what I'm saying is that this right here will get better. I will be able to write it better with these experiences that I'm having, that you're seeing me having, that we're having together. So now I will be able to go back and write this in a better way, because now I'm really clear about what this means, still respecting the definitions from the book cipher, right? But without it being written perfectly, you can already by yourself read this and understand from watching this whole video series what this means, okay? And now we have the proof of that. But it could just point to the fact of it being the Prince of Persia, who is a false prince, right? We're talking about the man of perdition. We're talking about not Enrique in the TV show. 325 here at the top. I send up, deliver, hand over, yield, King of Persia. So I wanted to show you that in 2020, you see here, 2020 is when I get this letter line, and that's when the Prince of Persia from 2017, letter line 133, becomes King of Persia, letter line 325 in 2020. So that falls right under the timeline that we're talking about with 2019 to 2020, April 2020. So there's a big change going on. And you know, as you really don't have to believe, it doesn't even have to be like a belief, it's a knowing, because I did the whole video on the Black Mirror, and we were talking about technology is on the same timeline as what the timeline God has given us in the Bible, the hidden timelines of John 21 and Numbers 13. The technology is on the same timeline. So they're going to be putting out in 2020, driverless cars are going to be everywhere. They're going to have the 5G, I think not shortly after, around that time. 2025, we're talking about going to have the Oculus technology everywhere. 2030, it's like a completely different civilization where you either are connected to that Oculus technology situation, or you cannot participate in society. So this is not a faith-based situation. This is going to happen. Absolutely going to happen, because they are hell-bent on having their new world, with or without us. Okay, so I just wanted to say that, because some people are like, "Ooh, I need a sign. I don't know if I can believe it." You don't have to believe. You just gotta look. You look at news, read the news especially about technology, and you're gonna see same timeline. All right, so thanks for watching. God bless you, and have a good Sunday. Shalom. Mwah.